Hello students, today we are going to start the grammar portion, grammar English grammar book, and the first chapter, that is phrases. Okay, so now before moving to the chapter, let's see what is phrases. This is very important to know what is phrase. So in your book, the explanation, a good explanation of phrase is already given. A phrase may be two or more words that together make up a part of a sentence. It make no sense outside the sentence as it doesn't have any finite verb. So phrases are a kind of sentence which is made up of two or more words. Now let's see one example. The new little flower. Okay, these are the words. Then after new, little, flower. So when we join this all, then it will together make a phrase. Okay, but it doesn't make any sense. We just come to know that it is the new little flower. Why it doesn't make any sense? Because it doesn't have any kind of finite verb. Here finite verb is missing. Okay, finite verb is missing. The is not verb, new is also not a verb, little is also not a verb, flower is also not a verb. Okay, so that is why when finite verb is missing from this kind of sentence, then it does not make any sense. Okay, so in very simple term, let me tell you that the new little flower, that is a phrase. Okay, or whatever, the phrase does not make any kind of sense. It make no sense outside the sentence as it doesn't have any finite verb. It doesn't have any finite verb, so it doesn't make any kind of meaning. A phrase may also function as a noun, an adjective, an adverb, or as a preposition with an object noun. Now, the uses of phrases. There are multiple uses of phrase. A phrase can be used as a noun, okay, an adjective, okay, it can be work as an adverb, or it can be work as a preposition. Understood? So, phrase can work in a multiple way. Now the new little flower is a noun phrase. It is a noun phrase. Okay, so which is the noun here? Flower is the noun. Okay, I have elaborated about this flower little more. What is flower? Little flower. What kind? It is new flower, and its determiner, that is the article, I have used the. So the new little flower. So main noun is this one. It is a main noun. Okay, and rest of the thing I have added to make it more meaningful. But when I am writing this 4 words alone and making it a single sentence, it doesn't make any sense. I need something to make this sentence meaningful. The new little flower is suppose bought by me. Now the sentence is meaningful. But without these sentences are totally meaningless. Understood? So this is all about the phrase. So what you got about phrase? Very simple to know that phrase may be made up of 2 or more words. Okay, and it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't have any finite verb. And how does it work? It works as a noun, adjective, adverb, or as a preposition with an object noun. Now let's come to the finite verb. As we are talking about finite verbs, so let's see what is finite verb. Okay, verb also has various part, and among that part, one part is that finite verb. The finite verb is usually the main verb of a sentence. It is the verb that changes form to show tense and change with the number of the subject. Okay, there are 2 kind of verb, that is finite verb and non-finite. Okay, the thing is that finite verb changes according to the tense. It change according to the tense. Okay, it change according to the tense, but it does not change according to the tense. It does not change. Okay, finite verb change according to the tense, but non-finite verb does not change according to the tense. Even it change according to the number of subject also. It change according to the number of subjects also. Okay, but it does not change according to the number of subject. For example, suppose Roma, okay, Roma, okay, go to school, goes. Here es comes. Now let me tell you es about es. Es is the example of number of subject. Okay, with one name we use es. So how many number of subject is there? One number of subject is there. Okay, and the name is there with which we have to use es. So that is what about number of subject. That finite verb changes about number of subject. Instead of go, why es come? Because this verb is a finite verb and it changes according to the number of subjects. So that is why we have used here es. Roma goes to school every day. Okay, suppose I want to change this sentence into past form, then what I will use? Roma goes will change to went. It is past. Okay, and suppose I want to change it to future, then what I will use? Roma will go, like that. So these three sentence change according to the tense, means these three verb change according to the tense, means this verb is finite verb. Okay, and what about non-finite verb? Basically how we write non-finite verb, like for example, Roma likes to go to school. Now Roma likes to go to school. Here this verb go, it will remain the same whether this sentence is written in present tense, past tense or future tense. Why? Because this go is here used as a non-finite verb. And always remember there are three parts of non-finite verb which we will go later on. Okay, when you will go through the next chapters like verb, you will understand, you will get a good explanation about finite and non-finite verb. Just let me tell you the first and the basic thing, that basically the non-finite verb is written with this preposition to plus first form of verb. In this way we write non-finite verb. For example, to go, to walk, like that. So it will not change its tense, it will remain in the first form of verb. So here Roma likes to go to school. This go will not change to went, it will not change to goes, it will not change to will go. It will remain the same because this is non-finite verb. And here before go, what is given here? To. So to plus any form of verb means this is non-finite verb and it will not change according to the tense. Okay, so leave it about this. We are talking about finite verb. Just I want to give you a short explanation about what is finite verb. So you see the example here. Mona enjoys driving. Why here s? Because this is finite verb and it change according to the number of subject. Mona is a single name, with that we have to use s. We enjoy driving in the hill. So here also with here no s, because with we don't use s. If you remember about I, we, you, they and he, she, it and one name, about ses, that formula, then you can easily understand. Okay, the family enjoyed driving uphill. So here enjoyed, this is written in past tense, so this is finite verb, that is why it changes to past tense. So understood? So the absence of finite verb is there in phrases. In phrases there is no finite verb, we cannot use any kind of finite verb, and that is why the meaning is totally incomplete. So understood up to here? Let's move to the first part of phrase, that is noun phrase. Okay, I think all of you know the meaning of noun. Yeah, noun is a naming word which we simply say as a definition, that what is noun? Then noun is a naming word. Very simple, right? Yeah, so noun is a naming word, very simple. But what is noun phrase? Again I told phrase is a incomplete sentence, you can say. Phrase is an incomplete sentence. Now what is noun? What is incomplete name here? Let me tell you. A noun phrase is made up of a head noun, that is main noun, or pronoun. Instead of noun, pronoun can also come, and other modifier before or after it. It acts as the subject or the object of the verb. So noun phrase basically act as a subject also or the object of the verb. Now as I gave here one example, yeah, the new little flower, this is the head noun. which you get here na, head noun here. A noun phrase is made up of head noun or pronoun and other modifier. Now here these three modifiers, these three are modifier. This modifier actually I have used before the head noun. So modifier can be used before or after the head noun, and this kind of phrases are called noun phrase. And this noun phrase is here when I have completed the sentence up to here. So this noun phrases work as a subject. Okay, so let me tell you the very simple thing, that in a sentence, the part of a sentence, the first one is what comes subject and the second one is predicate. Yeah, that is the full sentence. This is the structure of a sentence, isn't it? So subject, I think all of you know, and predicate contain the verb and the object and the rest of the thing like prepositions, adverbs, adjective, all these things are comes under predicate. Okay, it depends on the type of sentence, what kind of sentence you are writing, but subject always take the first place, right? Isn't it? For example, here Roma goes to school every day. So Roma here, Roma, this is working as a subject. This is not a noun phrase, this is only a noun. Okay, I am not using here any kind of phrases. There is no one or more word, just I am giving an example that noun work as a subject also and it work as an object also. Okay, now the same thing is given. A noun phrase is made up of head noun or pronoun and other modifier before or after it. You can modify the noun or pronoun before the noun or after the noun. Okay, so let's see the example. In your book only the proper example is given, so I no need to give extra example. I will explain you this two example. My new pair of jeans is very comfortable. Here we are talking about jeans. Okay, the main head noun is what? Jeans. What are the modifier here used? New, my new pair of jeans. These are the modifier which is used to elaborate more about jeans. What kind of jeans? It is my jeans and new pair of jeans. Okay, so here this is working as a subject. Okay, next we have adopted a small black puppy. We here the subject is we, right? But it is not a noun phrase, it is only a simple pronoun. Okay, let me tell you, just keep this clear that there is a difference between noun and a noun phrase. Okay, noun only you will only get one word or more than one name, but phrase will be made up of 2 or 3 sentence. Okay, phrases is little bit long. Okay, phrases are made up of 2 or 3 or 5 sentence. Okay, how much you want to modify it, that depend on it. And somewhere the main head noun will be there, here or here. Head noun may be there here, maybe, or it may be, it may be here, anywhere the head noun may be there. Modifier you can use before, after, according to your wish. Okay, so here we is a pronoun and it is only a noun. This is not a noun phrase, it is not a group of words, right? Here only one word is there, not a group of word. Now we have adopted a small black puppy, but we have adopted puppy. This is the head noun. And what are the modifier used for describing puppy? A small black puppy. Its color and size both are described here. So this is the head noun and these are the modifier used before the head noun, right? And this whole is a noun phrase which is work as a as an object. It is not working as a subject. Subject is already there, and always remember, subject always takes the first place of a sentence. According to the structure of the sentence, first subject come, then after the predicate, and under predicate all this kind of sentences or words are there. So be clear about these things. Okay, I hope you understand noun phrase. Let's move to quick 2-3 example of your exercise. Rest 2-3 you have to do by your own. Okay, now you just turn to the next page, that is page number 2, and in page number 2, in the first exercise A, I will discuss the first 2 questions. Rest of them you have to do by your own. Those questions are very easy to solve. Okay, let's learn how to do. Here you have to find that underline the noun phrase in these sentences. The big bright full moon adorned the sky. Now the big bright full moon, we are talking about here moon, okay, which is adorning the sky. Moon is adorning the sky, right? So moon is our head noun, right? And what are the modifier used here? Full, bright, big, the. So the big, bright, full, these are the modifier used with this noun. So from here up to here is what? Is a noun phrase. So you have to underline and find out the noun phrase and try to find out the head noun also. Okay. Next, Beth dreamt she was all alone on a lonely planet. Now here the first one is Beth. Okay, this is not a phrase. Okay, so leave it. Subject, here in the subject we don't have any phrase. Let's come to the object. Here any object is there? Yeah. Beth dreamed she was all alone. Where she was all alone? In the planet. What planet? A lonely planet. So this is the head noun and these two are the modifier. So a lonely planet is a what? Is a noun phrase. Okay, and here it is working as object and here it is working as a subject. So in this way you have to solve the rest of the 3, that is 3, 4, 5 of exercise A. Now let's move to the next topic. Okay, so next is our adjective phrase. So the definition and example of adjective phrase is already given in your book. Okay, it is given very properly, but before than that let's come to know what is adjective. I think all of you know adjective is what we say is a describing word, right? Very simple definition, describing word, isn't it? So mostly adjectives is used before a noun, okay, and sometime it is used after noun also, but very rare we use after noun. After noun, okay, but basically we use adjective before noun. Now let's see what is adjective phrase. An adjective phrase is a group of words that function as an adjective and modify a noun phrase or a pronoun in a sentence. So adjective phrase also work similar the way adjective work, okay. So adjective phrase is a group of words, okay, which function as an adjective and it modify a noun. Basically it modify a noun, sometime it modify a noun phrase or a pronoun, okay. So adjective phrase has one head adjective, okay, that is modified by other word. And what are the modifier? Modifier can be a determiner, like a few fresh oranges. A few is a determiner. And adverb, sometime modifier is an adverb, like very happy. Very is an adverb. Sometime word phrases after it. Sometime modifiers are word phrases which is used after the adjective, okay. For example, of that room, okay. So also an adjective phrase may have more than one head adjective. So sometime it happen like that objective phrase has more than one head of adjective. So in noun phrase we get one head adjective, but in adjective phrase you can get more than one head adjective. Let's see the example. Very proper example is given. We placed an order for some cheesy pizza. Now here pizza is the head adjective, noun. Pizza is the noun, and what adjective is used here? Cheesy. This is the head adjective, okay. So the head adjective, some cheesy pizza. So some cheesy, these are the adjective phrases. So these are the modifier. One is determiner, another is again you can say qualitative, this one adjective. So some cheesy pizza. Now again, he was thin, tall and grumpy. Now here we are talking about the person he, okay. Here all the adjectives are used after the noun. He was what kind of a person? He was thin, tall and grumpy. So these three are the adjective phrase. Now adjective phrase tall, thin and grumpy with the head adjective thin, tall and grumpy modifying the pronoun he. So here these three are the head adjective and it is modifying whom? It is modifying the person pronoun, that is he. The documentary film was terribly boring, okay. Here which one is the adjective phrase? Terribly boring. What is terribly boring? The documentary film. So terribly boring is describing the adjective phrase, the noun documentary film. It's understood? So these are the example of adjective phrase. Now let's see number B. I will not show all, only 2 examples are there. One I will solve, another you will solve. It was a cold and bleak wintry evening. Okay, but it was cold and bleak wintry evening. So these all are adjective used for it. The gentle murmuring breeze tapped the window blind. What kind of breeze? The gentle murmuring breeze. So this is a noun and these 3 are the adjective phrase. So you have to underline all in this way. So number B is done. Number B first is done. Second, do by your own. And for today video I will sum up to here. Your homework is that you solve the exercise from number A and B and show me in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I will give you the answer later on, but first of all I want 100% of your response. Okay, thank you.